I've got two things this evening. The first is I'm asking for council's authorization to file an appeal in the 5th District Court of Appeals. There was a traffic hearing relating to the move over law, and that is where a police officer was stopped within the right-of-way on the side of the road, making the traffic stop. A passing car did not move over and give that officer clear passage. They're required to change the lane and get over, and the lane was available to do that. The traffic case was appealed first by the driver, and the case was reversed. And we believe the judge may have missed some of the salient points and decided the case inconsistent with the law. So because of the importance of this law to officer safety, we'd like to take it up to the 5th District Court of Appeal. Now, I know your question is, how much is it going to cost us in attorney time and money? And fortunately, we have some good opportunity here to get the brief that's necessary prepared with assistance, and we have it rough draft by utilizing some other example briefs. So relatively little time and energy is spent, and it is rare that the attorney is actually called in for an oral argument. The decision at the 5th will be based on the written documents primarily. So I'm asking for your authority to move forward on this appeal.
Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, second. Questions for Margaret? Other comments?
Yes, since we're taking a vote on this, it is open to public comment.
I know,
Yes, sir.
but council gets first dibs.
Absolutely.
Questions, comments? There be none? Anyone here care to speak to the item?
Danielle Bailey, 5970 Broken Bow Lane, Port Orange, Florida. I'm just going to ask this council, at what point are you going to stop allowing this police department to harass my family? We won our appeal. The judge ruled. The officer was completely off the road. We had video evidence. We've had to obtain video cameras for our cars because my husband has been pulled over more than 5 times since the raid on our home. It is beyond excessive. At no point have you secured a conviction against my husband, and I'm just asking when you're going to stop allowing this to happen. I don't think it's fair. I think it's a complete waste of taxpayers' dollars. A judge has ruled on it. We should let this go, and you should authorize or direct your police department to quit harassing my family. Furthermore, I don't think Matt Jones should be allowed to try this case because there is a complaint against him with the Florida bar. So that should be taken into consideration as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening, everyone. Ted Knoftel, Chickadee Drive. All right, clearly you didn't get enough information here tonight to vote on this matter. That tells me you've been briefed in private. Don't know if anyone wants to confirm or deny that, but the problem with private briefings is you deprive the people that elected you to see how it is you're doing your job. So that's the first point I want to make. Point number 2, taxpayers have no compelling interest in this case. Officer safety is not in jeopardy here. Not according to me, but according to the circuit court panel that heard the appeal. The police vehicle was not on the roadside, which is one of the conditions for move over law. It was on an adjoining street. And again, that's the opinion of the appeal court that heard the traffic hearing officer. Now, taxpayers don't have a compelling interest, but the deputy city attorney most definitely has a compelling interest. He's looking for a Hail Mary here. That's what he's looking for, a Hail Mary. If the circuit court is reversed, the complaint lodged against him with the Florida bar will be somewhat minimized. For that reason alone, once a person has a personal stake in something, he should be no longer involved. So I would certainly encourage that. Finally, this whole matter is a continuation of the vendetta against Traska. That's what it is, plain and simple. The vendetta continues. And this all stems from the war on drugs. And the war on drugs dirties and sullies everybody that comes within a country mile of it. In this instance here, this simple traffic stop, we've got a Port Orange policeman, and let me see, I'll make sure I get the words, giving two conflicting versions of events in 5 minutes of testimony. Well, there's another word for conflicting versions of events. And then in the end, he dishes both of those versions and says photos submitted are really the true and accurate rendition of what happened. That's his testimony, not mine. The photos. And the photo clearly shows the vehicle not on the roadway, but on an adjoining road. So again, counsel, I would urge you to quash this appeal. There's been thousands of dollars and effort gone into this thus far. And believe me, there'll be thousands more. This won't be a minimalist deal. And then finally, I would encourage you, counsel, to tell your manager, to tell his police chief to end this war on drugs that Port Orange is continuing to pursue for minuscule amounts. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you.
Mayor, before the gentleman leaves,
No,
he showed
No.
a record.
no. You're out of turn. We're in public participation right now. I'll come back
I
to you.
don't want to lose the record.
You'll get your opportunity. It's public participation right now. It's their turn.
Sarah Jones, 44 Woodfield Drive, Port Orange. This is one of, in my years of going to city council meetings, where in the bottom of the agenda, the city attorney brings forth a topic. So it's discussed often without a lot of warning at the end of the meeting. But my real problem, and I think, is that if you read the charter for the city of Port Orange, the attorney that the council hires, which is Mrs. Roberts, is supposed to represent the council, not the city. But yet what has happened tonight and what happens at all the other previous instances is Mrs. Roberts gives the city's viewpoint. You can't serve two masters. She cannot be both a city attorney and represent you, the council, because there should be an attorney sitting here, and it should be her, but it's not, who tells you this is what this, who can give you an evaluation, this is what the city wants, these are the pros and cons of what the city wants. You are not being properly advised by the attorney, by an attorney which your charter wanted you to have. So you are making, essentially, as a council, a decision without representation, because the attorney here is representing the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Who else? Any other public comments? Public comments are now closed. Back to us. Questions of the city attorney, and then I'll go back to you. There being none, Margaret?
Record was shown to the council, a picture, a photograph was shown by the first speaker. Just like to have it entered into the record with the clerk.
So noted. Any other comments, final comments, or questions? No. There being none, call the roll. I guess there is one. Hold on.
I do have a question. Some things were said here that constitute new information for me. So I would like to move to table this.
A table?
This authorization to appeal so I can obtain further information and make a more informed decision.
I will second. We have a motion and a second to table the item. Comments? Questions? Call the roll on that motion.
Councilmember Ford.
Yes.
Councilmember Stiltner.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Tremont.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
No. 3-1, motion to table passes.
The second item, but before I move to the second item, I'd like to follow up on the first item. A motion to table will result in no appeal being filed. The timing, I don't believe, will allow us to get back to you within the necessary time to get the appeal filed. So before I leave that item, I just wanted you to note, a motion to table does not allow discussion, so I didn't enter into it at the previous
No,
moment.
it does not. Thank you.
Motion to reconsideration certainly is within your discretion.